Hello everyone. So unfortunately nearly in every town and every city in Ireland, in some parts in every village, there's a person begging. And now some people are genuine, don't get me wrong, there's some people genuinely begging. They don't have anything, they have nowhere to go, and they're desperate, they need money, etc. There is that, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody is. But there is a certain element of people who are fake beggars who, you know, turn up in the morning and then at night time a big swanky car comes along and picks them up and then brings them to another town the next morning to do the same thing again. And take for example some of these beggars who have iPhones and thousands of euro worth of iPhones, etc. So it doesn't make much sense. But a lot of these are Romanians, of course, coming over here, and they shouldn't really be coming over here. Be totally honest, should just to beg in the streets. They should be probably sent home when they're doing that kind of carry on. But it happens. It happens. I've seen many instances. Think for example, there was a person in Cavan at one stage, from Romania too, turned up in Cavan, basically said they have no money whatsoever, nothing at all. They have two small children, etc. And a lot of people felt bad because they didn't know this woman, and they give her a few bob, and turns out a big swaggy cow comes along, picks her up at the end of the day, and off to another town she goes the next day, do the same thing over and over again. And a lot of these people don't need the money. And then what I feel worse for is the people who really are truly don't have anything. They wouldn't really go and beg at all. There's people literally living in tents on the side of the road. Irish people. They wouldn't beg if their life depended. They take, for example, if I was homeless, I'd rather starve than beg, to be told, Lindsay. Because why would you go begging? And that's the thing. You have your pride. You don't want to be going begging people for money. So that's what I would rather do. But take for example, there's people that genuinely need the money, etc. But take for example, there's people, again, as I say, but Romanians, and there's not even that, there's some of our own doing it, and they should be very ashamed. There's Ferro in Cavan too, take for example, that's going around, he's not homeless, but he has a house, and he's going around badgering people, older people particularly, older people for money, old women for money, and they worked all their life for pensions. It's a disgrace, and the Gardaí won't do anything about it. The Gardaí sit on their hands, too afraid to do anything. And this is an Irish fellow too, should be ashamed of himself. But the Gardaí won't do it. The Gardaí should be putting him in prison for a long time to teach him a lesson. But they won't do it. It's a disgrace to have that kind of carry on happening now in the first world country. Whatever about being in the third world country, they can do that as much as they want, but in the first world country, they shouldn't be happening. But long story short, there is people, and I've seen many videos online too, calling out beggars and stuff, fake beggars, etc. When they see an iPhone or when they see a camera on them, they run for the hills. But it is a sad disgrace that, first of all, that such a thing should happen. There shouldn't be no homeless whatsoever in this country. There should be not one person on the street. And of course, we shouldn't be bringing in tons or hundreds of thousands of people. That's another thing too. That goes without saying. But anybody who is not supposed to be here should be sent home. Of course, as I say, Romanian people that get free houses, etc., shouldn't be here begging. And again, they get into big cars, etc. But what I say to people, if there's a genuine homeless people, a homeless person, or whatever the story may be, to give them food, to give them water, but don't give them money, because a lot of the homeless people, even if they might be genuine, they're on drugs or alcoholics, etc. So don't get a fuel their addiction. I suppose that's the advice I would give you too. But we do have to crack down on people that are doing this, and it's all about taking generosity, pretty much, taking people's goodwill. And again, a lot of these people, take for example, as I said, for that woman, I mentioned about the woman in Cavan. A lot of people felt bad for her and give her a few bob, just for goodness. And I know in Cavan, you'd be lucky to get into, but a lot of people do have good hearts, and when they see somebody that's maybe down on their luck, people will help them out, because that's what Irish people are. Irish people are very generous people. Would help out people if they're seeing people in trouble. But again, unfortunately, there's people taking advantage of that. And it's not even foreign people, just me say, there's Irish people doing it too. And they shouldn't be doing it. Many times I've come across people, take for example, there's a common thing too, where people are going around saying they have enough money for a bus ticket and stuff. And they're begging people, saying they have a son in hospital and things like that. This is the excuses a lot of people are doing, and there's Irish people doing it too. It was reported to me many times in Cavan too, that there's people going around the bus station in Cavan saying they have no money and need to get to their sons in the Mater Hospital or something like that. That's what they're saying, and basically pretty much making a show of people if they don't give money to them. And again, when you look it up, they don't have a name. There's no such thing as their son. It's just free money for whatever, not even for buses. I presume it's for drugs and stuff like that. But there's such thing as that too. And these people too have the big phones and stuff. There's been many times people that went begging for money around the bus station too. Even in Dublin too, it's happened a good few times because I remember hearing people saying about it. And these people have phones, big phones, iPhones, etc. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have Nike shoes and Nike runners. What? Come again. You know, I can't afford nearly that. Like the only working class Joe. This is just a basic Nike top. It's nothing fancy, but they have big luxury shoes and big luxury tops. Like, I don't know where they get it, but as I say, there is genuine people, and I think this takes away from it. And first of all, too, it takes advantage of people's kindness. Like, people are genuine. Irish people are very genuine people. There's nobody more genuine than Irish people. I've seen that many times. Like, Irish people doing dramatic, like literally giving up everything to help people. To help people in need. I've seen it far too many times, and it shouldn't have to happen in a first world country. But I've seen it in Cavan alone too. When things were times of tragedy, etc., etc. There's a few young lives lost to suicide a few years ago in Cavan, and I've seen the way the whole community pulled together to give a huge amount of money to the mental health charities. For example, everybody contributed so, but everybody put their hand in the pocket and helped out as much as they could. And it really shows you that Irish people, not even just Cavan people, Irish people too, are very genuine people, and are very good natured people by right. Because Irish people know the struggle, Irish people know what it's like. But it's the fact of the people misleading people, as I say, pretending to be homeless, saying that they have nothing, etc. That's not good. It's not right to do that. To lie to people first of all, and then to literally take money away from people who might need it, or food or whatever it may be. And then there's also, just last thing I say of this, there's also people who are homeless that won't take council houses. There was one person in Cavan, people probably heard about it, he had a council house at one stage. Whatever happened, we still don't kind of know what happened, but he did have a council house at one stage, and he ended up being homeless for some reason. But I don't know, nothing was ever found out why that was the case, but he did have it at one stage, but it's a mystery, I suppose. What I'm trying to say, there's people who are offered council houses. There's a person in Cavan, and he was offered the council house, and he didn't take it. So there's people that, even when the state gives them, say, here's a house or here's some kind of place to put a roof over your head, they still won't take it. So let me know what you think, particularly about the fake beggars thing, because there's been many people, I've seen many videos online, and it's a sad thing to say that it does happen in Ireland. And again, it's all about, and the one thing I hate is about people being taken advantage of in terms of doing the good thing. Like, say for example, you see a person on the street, you have a few bob in your pocket and stuff, you think you're doing a good deed, you're doing somebody a good turn, helping them out. And I think it's very disrespectful. Of course, it's very disrespectful. You're not even from the country to come and do this kind of carry on. But it's disrespectful, even an Irish person doing it to another Irish person. It's disrespectful at the highest level. Because people have to work for the money and stuff, and it's not right if somebody doesn't need the money and gets into a big swanky car that they shouldn't be getting in the first place. Again, they're getting the toll too, remember that. So yeah, let me know what you think, subscribe for more, and bye.